having a conversation with a couple of people over this past week, and someone, a few someone's jumped into my inbox and asked me a couple of questions. I saw some posts about it. And then, like I said, I had conversations this week with different people. I will tell you, though, the Lip Sense foundation, I don't know if they have new formula, but the 3-year-old formula is like oily. But anyway, so I had a few people jump in about stories. So I do want to address those concerns as you guys are moving into actually being more proactive with your time. Yes, some states are opening and stuff, but a lot of jobs that are not necessarily hourly jobs, those jobs are not reopened. A lot of those jobs are actually considering having people stay home and work remotely. So that's really cool. And so what happens is that you now have the ability, I don't want to say that you have the time. I really don't want to be that person, but you have the ability to now utilize your time a little differently. You're not sitting in an hour's worth of traffic each way. At least I'm not, because that's what I had to do. I was in traffic 1 hour each way every day, Monday through Friday. It was horrible. So if you're that person, then what that means is you do have 2 hours back in your life. And so what I want you guys to understand is that writing a book is not as daunting as people make writing a book. It's really not that daunting. It is really not that hard. If you remember a post that I did last week or earlier this week, and it went something like, it's only hard if you expect it to be. And that is not some Yoda type thing. Like, that literally was a divine download that I got this past week as I was vegging out on another game on my phone. And I passed the level my first try, and I was like, I thought they said this was going to be hard. And that's when I got it. It was like, it's only hard if you expect it to be. And so when I came up against the next level that was hard, supposed to be hard, I would repeat that mantra that it's only hard if you expect it to be. And so what I found myself doing is having conversations with people and repeating that phrase, because it is true. It is only hard if you expect it to be. So writing a book, you guys, is the easiest step of a book process. Okay. I'm not gassing you up. I'm not trying to minimize anything. I am telling you right now, sharing what you know is the easiest part of writing a book. It absolutely is. So to go over those 3 things that people shared with me or asked me this week. So I'll start off with really quickly. If you are looking to do your book as an audiobook, first of all, you all should be looking to do your books as audiobooks, myself included. Now that I'm over being sick, I can go ahead and record my book, but you have to understand that we live in a very privileged world, and it wasn't until this was brought to my attention that I understood how privileged I was. I have a friend who was having eye issues, so she doesn't read books because of her eye issues, so she listens to them. And so having an audiobook is perfect for those people who, yes, are on the go, yes, who may still have an hour's way travel or what have you, but more importantly, it's about the abilities. So some people cannot read your book, but does that mean that they do not need your word? Does that mean they do not need your skill? Does that mean that they do not need the tools that you came up with or discovered or, created? No. Just because a person can't read the words doesn't mean that they shouldn't hear them. And so you really should consider doing a book as an audiobook. So that said, doing an audiobook, I won't say is easy because I haven't done an audiobook yet. That's my fault. But doing an audiobook apparently is easier than we think it is. Hey, Delmar, Shamika, and Christina. Thank you, girl. I did this myself. Anyway, my name is Shaniqua. I had to slip there real quick. Okay, I'm back. Nah, I'm just joking. Your name is not who you are, but hey. What was I saying? So you want to look at Delmar. She hit it with that. We have this language in Black culture. You understand. All right. So anyway, so you want to understand your privilege and check your privilege. If you're an author, you have to check your privilege. You have to make your book an audiobook. You have to consider people's abilities and want and again, you don't want to limit yourself and your reach, right? Especially if you're writing a book for impact and for changing the world or the industry or whatever your why was about writing that book. Don't limit it to the written word. Take it and bring it into audiobooks. So Amazon is really, 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 really good about giving you tutorials and guides and stuff like that. So if you go on ACX, which is owned by Amazon, ACX, those are literally the letters, .com. But you know what, Delmar? They're let me talk about that real quick since you brought that up. So ACX.com, like I said, is owned by Amazon, and they're the people who do Audibles. Okay, so Audible, the thing that's actually owned by Amazon. I don't know if ACX is owned by Amazon or affiliated with Amazon. Now that I'm saying that, I think I might be wrong. Audible, though, is definitely owned by Amazon. And so what you want to do is go on ACX and look at their guidelines. And their guidelines will tell you exactly how to do it, how to make audiobooks. Now, to the point that Delmar brought up, she says that she wants them to be, or that they rather, or rather that they need to be audios, but she doesn't want to do it herself. I will tell you though, if you are like a coach, like not a consultant, but like if you're a life coach or something like that, you want to do them yourself. You do want to do them yourself. You want people, because you're building that KLT, right? The know, like, trust. So you want people to hear the sound of your voice, your sincerity, and, just as fast as a KLT builder as video is, audio does the same thing for people. If they can hear you, because they will hear your inflections, your tones, your stresses, and as well as your, like I said, your sincerity. So you do want to record your books yourself vocally. And listen, Jen Sincero, I always use her as an example because she's an excellent example of marketing and stuff. Her book was done by her voice. She voiced her own book. Yeah. TD Jakes did his, and then he undid it or did something. But it's better for people like the recognition, like I said, the KLT, for you to do your book yourself if you want to. I think Lisa Nichols, I watched her do it on Periscope, and it's something about that KLT, that connection. So here's the thing about ACX also, is that they have actors. They have actors who are there, voice actors, who are waiting to do your book. Matter of fact, they're probably really there, like right now. So they're waiting to read your books. So there are different, Lisa Nichols of Abundance Now. Oh, Jen Sincero. Girl, thank you. See, my ADHD is kicking in. Okay, so let me finish the story about Jen Sincero, and then I'm going to go over. It's spelled Sincero, but it's like Italian. So like there's a sound. Okay. So anyway, she did her book. Her book is a 5-hour book. My ADHD self, because I'm not a big audiobook fan. I'm not a person who could follow you audio wise. I got to have something to land my eyes on, right? So her book is 5 hours, but it took me 10 hours because I kept zoning out. And then I would be like, snap, rewind. So it literally took me twice the time because of my attention issues with it. Plus she read very dryly to me, and I could tell she smoked back in the day, I'm hoping. But it was like that kind of thing. So it was a gravelly, monotone voice. But, let me tell you, but, people go and see her speak, and people, because of her books. And a lot of people don't have time or the luxury to sit and read books anymore. Even now. I would say now it's a little different, but even now, because reading is a exercise. Like, you have to work out the muscle of your eyes. This is why people, when they read, they go to sleep, because you get tired, because these are muscles. So you have to work out the muscle of reading, and so a lot of people get tired. But if they read with your audio, and I'm gonna tell you, I bought a book. Hold on, real quick. Um, I'm still here. I actually listened to this one by Jeff Walker, Launch. I didn't own this book. I did not own this book. I listened to him on my audio since I had a whole lot of Audible credits. And then I said, I have to get this book. So I went and ordered the print copy because I loved the audio copy and I wanted to write in my book. I'm a big writer. I write in my books. It's so freeing and so amazing. So I went and bought his book because of the audio. So that's another way that you could be selling your print copies, is that somebody goes, I have to have a copy of this book. So, so go on ACX, check out their guidelines. And so like I was saying about Jensen Cheryl, she's an excellent person to go on their Amazon account and see what they're doing with their books. She does it so well. And to that point, so like I said about the audio, you can get it done right there on your computer or even on your phone if you have a great mic, you know. So you can, like I said, you can use your phone. You can go to Audacity, which is a free program for Windows and I think Mac as well. But with Mac, you don't need Audacity. You can just use GarageBand. But Audacity was very user-friendly. Very user-friendly. So, and it's spelled like audio, so A-U-D, and then it's Acity, A-C-I-T-Y, so Audacity. So that was that question that was brought up, was about how to do an audiobook. So I hope that answers that question. Yeah, Audacity. Thank you for spelling it. So that's great for Windows. And there was I think it was a YouTube video. No, it might have been one of those webinars or something. But somebody talked about how they went into their closet because of all the clothes that was in there and muffled the sound. So they went in their closet and they recorded in their closet so that they had the right acoustics for recording. And they recorded right there on their Yeti mic. All right, so trust me, you can bootstrap that for real. But as I was saying, ACX does have actors who do read your book. You would submit like a couple pages and they will audition by reading your book. The thing is that it's really hard to let go of things if you're me. So I did the audition and then I was like, I'll just do it myself. And I haven't done it yet, so I got to make sure to do it. Sorry, I have like combination skin and it's boiling right now. I think I did a good job on my makeup though, for real. I keep looking. Okay, so the thing about Del Mar when you go to ACX is that there are basically two ways that you can get this done. So you can hire an actor and let them do it. And the way that works is that you could do revenue share split. There's that. Then there are people who take an upfront charge, and then there are people who take a more standard upfront charge and a revenue split. So those are like the three ways that it's done, or you do it yourself, of course. So it's you hire somebody, y'all do either a revenue share on the audiobook, or they do a flat fee, or they do a flat fee with a revenue share. Okay, and then you can tell them things like you want this accent, or you want this gender, or you want this ethnicity. I think, I don't remember if you could say ethnicity, because I really did want a black woman to do mine. Yeah, so I think that's all I got to tell you about doing the audiobook. The other question that was brought up, as I said, is writing a book, like I said, is super, super easy. Compared to what we think it is. Let me put it that way. I know, I get the same thing, Delmar. Delmar says, for whatever reason, people like my voice and my recorded voice, and being told 1,000 times to do a radio show or a podcast, so I guess I could record my own book. Yes, you can. But I get told the same thing. And I'm like, so what you trying to say? I'm ugly? You have a voice for radio. What you saying? Anyway. So, as I was saying, writing a book is the easiest part of the whole journey. It really honestly is. And Delmar has joined us in this author nation, right? So, um, it's basically, uh, it's like any other business principle in that consider what your people need right now. Like, what do they need right now, right? And so when you think about what do they need right now, what is their problem right now, and what do you have that can help them solve that problem? You do not want to throw the kitchen sink at somebody. Hey, Heidi, you don't want to throw the kitchen sink at them at all because you don't want people to be overwhelmed and you don't want people to put down your book. See, one of the things that we need to understand, girl, we better get on it. One of the things I want you guys to understand is, okay, so this book by Jeff Walker, he even got a doggone glossary in this book. This book, and then we had a whole thank you page. So this book is about 180 pages. So we'll say this is kind of like a standard book. A standard book is around 40,000 to 50,000 words, which translates into only about 1,700 words per day. Adrian, how'd I do? You like my face? Anyway, so you have that. My screenplay book that I did is about 150 pages. My book on creating intentional manifestation boards is 128 pages. Okay, but I did do larger font because, again, I'm not about ableism, right? I did mine at least 16 font because I want people to be able to read my book, right? But my very first book and the book that's selling the best is this one. And this book is 44 pages. So the reason I'm bringing this up is I want you guys to understand it's about the value of your book, not the price and not the size. It is about the value of your book. This is my paperback cover, my paperback book. My paperback book sells for $10. This one. Okay, well, they all do. No, some of them sell for $13. But they all sell for $10, just about. And this book is my best seller. This book is still selling, even this week. This book is my bestseller. And so, like I said, it's only 44 pages. And what did I do in this book? I answered one question. Somebody asked me on a Periscope one time, and that's actually the catalyst to me writing this book. I was writing an entirely different book. They asked me, how did I continue to get up and to keep moving forward after I was sexually assaulted? And I never looked at my ability after that, right? I never thought, oh my God, you're an amazing woman. I never thought anything special about what I did. My answer to them was that I just did what I had to do. Life moves forward, not backwards. So I had to keep going. And they're like, no, like, what did you really do? Because you went on to graduate from high school with a kid and you graduated from college and, you became a teacher, which I guess was a great thing, and they were giving me back all these things that I accomplished. And I went, holy smokes, what did I do? Like, what did I do? Because, the more I started reading, I found out that people got into drugs or they got into hurting and cutting and all these other negative things. And yet here I was grabbing on. Now, mind you, education was my buoy in the sea of things where I didn't understand what to do or how to do it. That was about education. I grabbed onto it like a life jacket, like for real, because I really needed it. But I did other things and I didn't realize I was doing those other things. And so when they asked me that question, I had to go back and look at my process. What did I do differently than what a lot of people do? And that is what you're doing when you write your book. You are considering what's your answer to the problem. It's not saying that you have the absolute utmost right answer. That's not what you're saying, because nobody does ever except, the higher power. But what you want to consider is what is your answer to the question that your people are asking you over and over again. And so like I said, I had to take a look at my process. But when you do that, when you narrow it down to what is their problem, then you break it down. Now, I'm going to give you guys a a link to my 3M strategy, which is right now a messenger bot. And you can see what I'm going to tell you right now, how to do it, right? And that is, I'm actually debating on redoing those videos because I'm really cute today. So, but I don't think it's going to happen because I'm going to go walking. But like I said, it all starts with your brain. So brainstorm, brain dump, and brain map. So those 3 things are a catalyst to finding out what you can write about, how you can write about it. And if you do those 3 things correct, then you have your whole book right in front of you. And all you have to do at that point is actually write it. Now, it's a little bit even easier than that, and I can go into that in a little bit, but you're going to have to join my Fiercely Focused Challenge, which starts tomorrow, where I will explain exactly what it is that you can do to really make this process even easier, okay? And I'll put that link in here too about my Fiercely Focused Writing Challenge. So we're going to work through your book and, we're going to work through your ideas, find the ideas, and then get you started on actually writing the book that people want to read. Not that you want to write. We really have to understand that part. It's not about you, boo. It's never been about you. Everything that you've gone through, anything that you figured out, it was not about you. It was about the people who are coming after you, that you are assigned to help. That's all it's always been about. It's like, who are you assigned to help? We got to get you trained so you can help them. You are the chosen one for those people. Okay. But, your job is not to save yourself, it's to save your people. But like I said, I'm a big proponent in your gift, your purpose will provide, as long as you are in alignment with your gift and your purpose. Okay. So anyway, so that was that question. I hope I answered that one about, how to write your book, like how to narrow down your ideas. You're narrowing it down to what's their problem right now and how can you best answer that problem. Okay. And again, if you join the Fiercely Focused Writing Challenge, I will break all that down. It's a free challenge for right now. So I will break all that down. I will show you the process. You guys can grab the worksheets, and my worksheets are delicious. That's why I said it's not going to be free for much longer. But other than that, so that was that question. The next question that was being asked was, this was a juicy question, and people keep asking me this question. And, I wanted to make sure that I had a good answer, and I Googled it to see what other people said. And, there's like a whole psychology thing behind it. But the question, sorry guys, like I said, I'm super oily. The question that people frequently ask, oh, Lord Jesus, when I become famous, I'm going to need somebody just to block my face. Just come block my face. If I'm shining, just block me. Don't even ask. Just block me. What was I saying? Okay. The question that people have been asking me is, how do I write a story that involves other people without hurting those other people? Okay. So this one's a little difficult because people can come after you and they can sue you. And, if you are, slandering them or whatever. And so what I tell people to make sure that they do is let people know that this is their perspective of what happened. So if you're very clear, especially if you put that disclaimer at the beginning of your book, something like, any similarities are purely coincidental or something like that. You honestly want to consult a lawyer on this. Like, you want to look that up, right? And consult a lawyer on this. But my book, especially this one, was definitely about somebody else, right? Because this person committed an act against me. I knew exactly who they were. I didn't name them. So the question is, how do you write your story? And here's what you got to remember is, what's the point of your story? This is the first question that I ask. What is the point of your story? What is the message you're trying to get across? What is important about your story? Is it that so-and-so hurt you? Because it could have been anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody could have been your perpetrator. Anybody could have been, the person who inflicted anything on you. So is it really about them, or is it really about you? Like, what is the message? And that's where you're going to go. So you can say stuff like, somebody close to me hurt me, or and we're going to give him a name. We're going to call him Dave, or we're going to give her a name. We're going to call her Sue, whatever. But the story really honestly isn't about them. Your book honestly isn't about them. The message isn't about them. It's about you. And so for me, mine was about how I went through, and I won't say overcame, because with sexual assault, you don't really overcome that, but you do learn how to work through it. So my book was about the skills or the strategies that I wanted to share with other people, right? And so it wasn't about the guy who hurt me. And so, like I said, I just mentioned, someone who I was close to, or I even said a cousin, but I didn't give that person's name because it wasn't about them, nor do I want them to have that kind of power. I just don't. But I do really suggest that you do consult a lawyer on that one. If there are things that you feel like you have to say that could come back and bite you. And there are lawyers for that. They definitely will talk to you regarding that. So that is the best answer I can give you with that one. I always say write your story. You can always edit after, but write your story. Like, don't worry about everything else. Nothing's important until it's done. And then you can start combing through and editing and doing all that stuff. But you got to get it out the first time. You can't let that stuff stop you from writing in the first place, because otherwise you'll be sitting there not writing for a while. And that's not what you want to do, watching the years pass by and all of a sudden 7 weeks of the pandemic has gone on and you haven't done anything. Yes. Now, trust me, I understand there is a mental thing about that too. But at some point, you reclaim your life. At some point, you get back into the driver's seat, because Jesus never said, let go of the wheel. That was just you. No. Jesus was like, look, I'm just your GPS. Can you please be the driver? Put your hands back on that wheel. Anyway, so that is it. My kids are coming in here and they are reminding me that we have to go on a walk. So I hope you guys enjoyed this thing. Yes, I talked about my eyelashes. Y'all. And I did do my face. I even did some contouring. I'm gonna throw a thing on there. And I did my 90s style eyeshadow. Remember I was talking about that yesterday? So I did the dark lids, the lighter color, and then a highlight right under my eyebrow, because all I know how to do is the 90s. So I did my 90s eyeshadow. And then I look at my liners. My liner is 2 different liners, because they're not 2 different liners. They're 2 different thickness. I did this one right, and then I got cocky and messed this one up. So, and then of course lip sense lipstick, and I even appled the blush. I did the blush, and I hope the rest of it looks good. I hope it looks good. I do, because I could be lying to myself. It's a whole lot of yellow light. It's a whole lot of yellow light. Okay, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and log off. I hope that helped you. If it did, please let me know inside the comments that this was a good chat about doing books and what you could do, and if it answered your questions, or if you have any other questions, because your questions do help me create content. I am going to drop those 2 links below. Actually, I'll just drop one because I don't remember what the other one was about. So I will put the Fiercely Focused Writing Challenge link right below so that you guys can sign up for that if you are looking to finally write your book. All right, so I'll see you guys later. Enjoy your Saturday. Bye, boo.